My name is Rory and I am running for Kentucky House 73. I'm running as a Democrat. Now, how many of you know what a anti-systems party is? Well, an anti-systems party is like the Communist Party or the Nazi Party, who don't want to change government. What they want to do is change the type of government we have, from a democracy to a dictatorship, an authoritarian government. Today, we have one party that has devolved into an anti-systems party, and that's the Republican Party. And I don't stand for that. I want to maintain our systems and enforce and save our systems. When you hear them say, drain the swamp, what they're really saying is destroy the systems. Now, in 1971, there was a group of folks who did drain the swamp in the Everglades and caused the biggest ever wildfire there was, ever has been in the state of Florida. So, what does drain the swamp really mean? It means to get rid of the life-saving and life-sustaining water. Well, when they're saying drain the swamp, they're basically saying they want to get rid of the life-saving and life-sustaining water of freedom, of democracy, of being able to run your own lives. Well, this is not new, folks. It all started at the very beginning of, eh, of our Constitution, right after it got all written up, folks. There was two groups of folks who wanted to not have a king, and then there was a group of folks who wanted to have a king. Well, with the election of George Washington, we didn't have a king, but there was a big debate between George Washington being elected and the U.S. Constitution being ratified. Now, let's put it this way. And it all boiled over to one piece of the United States Constitution. Nobody argued much about the articles. Okay? What they argued about was George Washington and Ben Franklin's mission statement at the very beginning of the United States Constitution. The preamble. They didn't want the preamble to be part of or be considered part of the United States Constitution. And there's a reason behind it. Because the preamble was the only place that instructed future representatives of you to follow. And George Washington was a general, so he was very good at making direct, concise statements, orders. So George Washington's first order is we the people of the United States. It's not we the aristocracy, it's we the people, the folks, the common folks, in order to form a more perfect union. Next thing, to establish justice, to ensure domestic tranquility, to provide for the common defense, to promote the general welfare, to secure the blessings of liberty, to ourselves and our prosperity, to ordain and to establish this Constitution for the United States of America. Now, can you have a United States or have a more perfect union if you're not working to unite the many different diverse factions and peoples and ethnicities that make up our country? No, you can't. So diversity. So diversity is part of our DNA of our country. The next thing George Washington told us to do was to establish justice. Can you have justice with inequality or with equality? So the next part of the DNA of our United States Constitution is equality. Then it's ensure domestic tranquility. Well, can you have domestic tranquility if you're not treating and including everyone, all the different diverse peoples we have in our country? So, in order to ensure domestic tranquility, don't we have to have an inclusive government? Or else we would not have tranquility. We would have uprisings left and right. So, again, the Republicans love to say and demonize uh, DEI. They love initials because then they don't have to explain what's behind DEI: diversity, equality, and inclusion. But all three of these are part and parcel of our United States U.S. Constitution. Now we get to common defense. Hey, no problem with that. And then to promote the general welfare. How about this? Does having Social Security promote the general welfare? I would say so, not having old folks sitting on corners begging for food and such. That's a pretty good thing. How about Medicare? Is that a good idea to ensure the general welfare of our people? How about Medicaid? Is that a good idea, taking care of the poor, making sure that they have, good medicines and things like that? Uh, the working poor, they ain't desperate, but they ain't sitting high on a hog. And Republicans love to demonize, you know, women folk as being deadbeats and things like that. But I see a lot of them being cashiers and they're not paid a whole lot. And then it comes to, how about health insurance? Would health insurance be under general welfare? Understand, this isn't socialism. This is Christian values. This is American values. This is American values that stem all the way back to our United States Constitution, to George Washington's and Ben Franklin's direct orders to us. This is our prime directive. As a liberal who believes in all of the United States Constitution, I view the preamble as the prime directive for what I need to do as a representative to you, the people. I want to secure the blessings of liberty. I have an amendment that is designed to protect a woman's right to life, her health, and her mental health, along with a lot of other things. And I intend to put it forth in front of you so that you can vote for it, because you have a right to vote for something. And it's not just you, it's for your prosperity, for your children's sake. Now, they ended with to ordain and establish this Constitution of the United States of America. We are the United States of America, not the divided States of America. We went through the divided States of America when a group of folks decided to turn their back on the United States of America and succeed from the United States of America. And we had a civil war, and quite honestly, the southern part of the folks fought very bravely, but they're disunited disunited government failed them, and the united government of the North won because of it was united and not divided. Now, I, as a constitutional liberal, stand for all of the United States Constitution and not just some of it. I stand for the system of government, our democratic Republican system of government, and not some authoritarian state system of government. And if you vote for me, I will work to maintain and save our Constitution. You have a good and blessed day. Bye.